Uh-oh. Hi, ladies. Hi, ladies. I hope that all is well. I hope that everybody is in amazing spirits, great spirits, and that we can get this show on the road. Let me figure out who is in the waiting room. Let me figure out who's in the waiting room, y'all. It looks like we are already recording, which is awesome, but it's just going to take a few minutes to get things going. So go up until maybe the 5-minute mark on this video if you are watching the replay, and then we will be able to get into the real tea. So hold on, I'm trying to admit people into the room. I have to admit people into the room, and I'm going to log in on my laptop as well, just so that I can see people's comments as they pop up. I'm trying to figure out who's up in here. Okay, so men don't love women like you. This book is not for the faint of heart. Okay, this book is really for the women who are really ready to take their game to the next level in real life. The literature and the books that are within these groups, I feel like people aren't reading them, because if you read these books and you take it to heart and you actually execute a lot of the concepts and principles that are talked about among these classic reads, you will be above and beyond a lot of the different a lot of the different topics and whatnot that come up within the community. Let me see. So hold on, y'all. I'm really trying to go ahead and log my little self in. Sign in with Facebook so that I can see the comments and stuff, because I know there are a lot of people that actually don't like to comment and whatnot. Uh-oh. Sorry, y'all. But like I said, this literature, these books are really for the people that are out here moving and getting it in real life. So this book, I really hope that it doesn't hurt feelings, because he's telling you like it is straight. And I think that people really expect for this journey to like come easy and be easy, and that, all I have to do is just show up and be my best self, and I can manifest whatever I want to manifest. But like, people don't recognize that certain things work and certain things don't, and you have to put yourself in position to get what it is that you want. You can't be thinking that people are just supposed to accept you like you are, and that you're going to get the utmost treatment because you have a good heart, or you have strong morals and values, or God rewards good things happen to good people. Because you'll realize, like, through living life, that's not the case, and you will be used and abused utilizing a lot of the principles that women will normalize, right? So let me go ahead and get this thing started. I'm so excited to talk about this book, y'all. This book was one of the first books that I read about 2 years ago when I really started getting serious. And I told myself, I was like, I'm getting it. I'm doing what I got to do. Like, this is real life. I'm like, I'm gonna get to it, right? So, okay. The first time I read this book in 2018, I could not get through it because of just how raw and real it was, y'all. I couldn't even get through the book because that man was talking that talk and he was hurting my feelings. Okay. And I felt like I was being attacked, and I'm like, this can't be real. This advice is not for every woman. It's a certain kind of woman that acts like that. And it's a certain kind of woman that thinks like that. It's a certain kind of woman that'll do that, or that can be manipulative, or that can do whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And as soon I went through one more situation where I was doing things, thinking that I was doing them the way that I was supposed to be doing them. And I went back to that book right after. And let me tell you, this book changed my life. It changed the way that I view myself. It changed the way that I view other people. It changed the way that I view men. It changed what I value within myself as well. I know that for those of you that have read it, who read the book, y'all can unmute yourself. We can talk. The live hasn't started yet. I'm giving it like, I think I got 2 more minutes left, but we're just having girl chat right now. You can unmute yourself. Who actually read the first chapter?
I started it. I didn't get through the whole thing, but like a lot of it. And yeah, it was a lot, but I wasn't too surprised, at least for the beginning part, with women trying to sell themselves based on their achievements and how that doesn't work. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we can all like relate in some way to that, in finding our value in something that where it doesn't lie. Like I know so many women. I got 2 degrees. I'm not like these other women. I got 2 degrees. I'm loyal. I'm a ride or die. That's what makes me different. Okay. That's what makes me different. I'm loyal to my man. I'm a support my man. I love my man. I'm gonna cook his food and wash his clothes, make sure his lunch is packed for the next day, because I'm different.
Right.
Okay? These women are out here twerking, and they not taking care of their kids, and they not about their business. These women, they just want to use men. Like, like this sounds like people that we know in real life, you know?
I think because it's so many women expect men to love like women, like he was saying in the book.
Right.
Where men aren't looking for those, or they're not impressed by like your job the way that for a woman that might be what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And every single woman thinks that the things that make them unique are actually unique, and they're not. Like in the real world, right? Most women have a degree. Most women are loyal. Most women will split the bill. Most women, like, let's be very real. Most women. So when you talk like that, he already knows what he got. Already knows what he got, girl. Sad. Mm-hmm. And that's what we see online with if he, if it was me, I would have never did him like that. I would have never did so and so and so, because I'm a real one. And I feel like, what did he say? What was it called? He called it typical bitch, typical results. And the title in itself is like, well, geez, you ain't have to do that. You ain't have to say that now. You know what I mean?
Right out the gate, right? Like right out the gate.
Typical bitch, typical results. Can't be typical. Okay. So let's get into it, because I thought this was really good. I'm going to highlight some of the best parts. Okay. So, and there's going to be a challenge, and I'm actually going to say it right now. So the challenge is, hold on, what's the question? I like when he talked about how he said that men will always play along and act like you're the most interesting woman in the world. Because as a woman, or men especially who know the game, can read right through all of that. I got my 2 degrees and I do this and I do that and blah, blah, blah. And this is what I got going on, and see how they can manipulate the situation to benefit. You know what I mean? By you talking too much. So when you do give those vague answers to what makes you different, or what do you bring to the table, all that extra stuff that people get so upset about because they don't have an answer, because they don't recognize that it's not necessarily a question relative to your degrees or your job or your income or whatever the case may be. That can also be a chance for you to showcase a little bit of something relative to your femininity, you know what I mean, and how you carry yourself, and you bringing peace to the table, you know what I mean? So let's talk that talk, y'all.
Posting this video in the VIP group?
I'm not actually. It's just for the book club.
Okay.
So listen, this was my favorite quote. It said, no matter what a woman will list as unique, a man does not feel that she is because he has sat across from women who are just as self-reliant and successful 3 times this month. And we're going to say this week because the men are out here, okay? So he'll flatter you and, do all the things to impress you and all of those things. But he can tell how you're going to be based off of situations that he's had with other women, right? Because men play the numbers game and women a lot of times do not, right? So if you're a woman that comes along, that takes the bait for every single little situation that comes your way, you know what I mean? The first man that came along, that was the man you fell in love with. The first man that came along, that was the man that you decided that you wanted to be loyal and hold down and do all that stuff, right? You don't have the experience or the know-how to recognize different qualities and characteristics of men if you're not out here dating. You don't, right? So when you think about it, men who want experience or have game can recognize a woman who's needy, a woman who he can take advantage of, a woman like this, a woman like that, and all that based off of all of the different women that he's encountered. So when you have a palette or a wide range of men on your roster or men that you've dealt with or different situations that you've come into contact with, you're going to be able to recognize and understand and handle those situations because of the fact that you put yourself in position to have samples of these different personality types. You know what I mean? So it sets you up for success because when you meet new people, you're able to pinpoint different things and different triggers and different likes and dislikes based off of the things that they say that they think is unique. You know what I mean? But it's typical bitch shit. You know what I mean? I hope that this is making sense, y'all. Y'all give me feedback. This is a book club, y'all. This ain't a class.
It's making sense. It's making a lot of sense because I noticed that and I'm like, okay, I see this personality type. Okay, I met one of those 2 months ago. Okay, I know what to do. I know what to say. You gonna do this.
Hey, what you say, Haley? What's in your hand? Give me that. Okay, don't die. Haley is a hoot. Okay, so it's real. So this whole thing, he says that he can tell that with a few exceptions, you're exactly like the nurse he dated for 3 weeks, slept with, and then got bored with. Okay, so you can't be easy to read because if you're easy to read, it's gonna be a quick game. It's gonna be a hump and dump. You know what I mean? So I like that he talks about this and where he says, where is, women being like, where is he ever gonna find another woman like this? Where is he ever gonna find another woman that cook and clean and make 80K a year with 2 degrees? Where is he gonna find that at? And the real tea is that he can find that everywhere. The problem with a lot of women too is that women will base themselves. Women are very competitive, and women will always compare themselves regardless. It doesn't matter, right? This is how we work. This is how we operate. Y'all know. So, in saying that, y'all know that women will compare themselves and their worth relative to the other women that they are in proximity with, right? So if you are around a lot of women that are twerking and doing this and don't take care of their kids and all that stuff and blah, 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 all that negative stuff that people have to say, then of course you think that you're a prize. But think about a man that is a high value man that is dating all the women that are around him look just as good as you look and have all the same degrees. You know what I mean? And do all that other stuff. Your value is not as high in that man's eyes because he's not looking at the pool of women that you know. He's not looking at the women from your neighborhood and how you done broke stereotypes and then broke the glass ceiling and did all that stuff or whatever the case may be, because every woman on that man's roster, every woman that he's dealing with has a lot of those same similar qualities and characteristics because that's his standard. Are y'all following? So yeah, it's great that you didn't have a child before you got out of high school. It's amazing that you got through graduate school without having any kids or getting into debt or doing whatever else. But when you look at all of the women that are at that standard, all y'all have done the same thing. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with men. So I'm glad that he pinpointed that, because I think it's really important to note, like, I feel like people really do base their value upon their bubble and the people that they surround themselves with. You know what I mean? So yeah, that woman had a child out of wedlock and you didn't. Okay, whoop-de-doo, right? But every other man, every other woman that the man that you're sitting across from this table from has the same standard and qualities and characteristics for herself as well. I loved that he mentioned that, because when I tell you it's true, like, you hear it, like, you'll hear it. People will be like, well, I'm not like these other women. I'm not like so and so. That's what makes me different, or so and so and so. And you're literally like every other woman that man has talked to this month. So I'm glad that he said that. I'm loyal. I'm honest. I'm true, you know? Okay, so I love that he said that. Did you guys like anything in particular that he said as well?
I felt like, yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the leveling up, like, yourself, to make yourself be out of those same circles too, to
Mm-hmm.
not believe that you're so rare. Because if you are, or if you're the only person you know who went to graduate school, then graduate school will seem really rare. But part of the level up is like leveling up your circle. So then I think that will give people a better understanding of high value can mean, or how to be high value, and like what these men, or who these men are meeting. Because a woman who doesn't know any of those other women don't know their competition.
Right.
I feel like that's the way you win a game. You have to know your competition.
Right. And your competition looks just as good as you do, sis. Your competition, you ain't the first pretty girl that he's had on his arm. You're not. That don't make you special. You're not the first woman with 2 degrees that then tried to, sell him on a partnership in building. You're not the first. You won't be the last, So it's important that we foster these other characteristics as relative to femininity, because that really is what will set you apart. And I don't think that people understand that. I really don't. And it's sad. It really is. So my favorite part was, well, not my favorite part, but this was good. He said typicals, and we'll call them typicals. So we're not calling them pick-me's no more. We're calling them typicals. Okay. The typicals cling on to that first few weeks of interaction with that man, right? So, oh, I know him for 2 weeks. He sent me a cash app. Oh, we only, he bought me food and let me get something for the kids to take back to the house. Oh, he did so and so and so and blah 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 da, 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 da. And so, but real interest won't peak until a lot later on in your interactions with people. And I think that it's important to note that, like, it's a slow seduction. Like, you don't seduce someone on the first 3 dates. That's not real life. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing the long game and you're really trying to be the game changer, as he mentions, or whatever, it's gonna take a hell of a lot more than you batting your eyelashes and talking about your stories from college to get him to want to invest in you. You know what I mean? So a lot of women will get it confused of saying, like, well, it's only been a little bit of minute and he's already done this, so that's okay. You know what I mean? He's fallen for the bait. He sees that I'm unique. He sees that I'm different, and he's treating me accordingly, when really he's recognizing that you're typical, and he's doing the same thing that he did to every other woman that react the same way that you're about to react, because he's played the numbers game. And I love that. Like, I absolutely love that. So the whole, he's not talking about me when he's talking about these women. He talking about the other ones. I'm not typical. Mm-hmm. So I love this thing that he said. So this is something that typical women say. I work and have my own. I don't need a man financially. I'm the type of woman mothers love. I'm very caring and nurturing. I would make a great mother and wife myself. I focus on me and on one man because I am loyal. I do not hang with a lot of girls or put my business online. I'm not clingy or annoying. I stand by my man no matter what. All of my exes will tell you I'm the best boyfriend they ever had. I'm not trying to brag, but look at me. Look at me. Men are always trying to wife me. And this is stuff that every woman genuinely believes in her heart to be true. And it's sad And I don't want anyone, especially the girls that are in my inner circle, to think that any of this is okay, because it's not. So yeah, people use those things as a crutch. And so we're gonna get through it. You are not your career. And that's something that people really don't pay attention to. And I hear a lot of times, and I'm gonna be the one to say it, people are like, well, I'm not concerned about a relationship a lot of times. I'm more concerned about my bag and my money and my this and my that and blah 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 blah. And that in itself is a bit of a crutch. Like, let's be very clear. Like, if you could secure a provider to do what he needed to do, if you felt like you could trust a man, if you felt like you were on your game to secure a situation to where someone was genuinely pouring into you, the bottomless pit, you know what I mean? Then you would not want to be out here doing that. But you don't trust in your own ability half the time to do what it is that you need to do to secure a situation that can be of benefit to you in that way. So you'll trick yourself, tell yourself that, oh, well, you can't trust no man, men are finicky, men are this, men are that, because you don't know how to appeal to that soft, that masculine side of a man. And I know we know a lot of women that are like this. Like, y'all can agree. Y'all let me know if you agree. And a lot of us have been that woman,
That's just what I was about to say. Yeah, used to be that woman, and it
Mhm.
definitely is a crutch.
It's a crutch. It is. I'm not concerned about a relationship. I don't need a man. No, boo. You're lying. You're lying. So that I feel like men appreciate a woman that can admit that. What do y'all think?
I agree completely.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Men can appreciate that, can admit that. Go, Haley.
Everyone wants to feel needed on some level. Always. Like, saying you don't need someone is, every single person in my life, every single person in your life, you always want to make them feel needed in some way, even if it's something small, for something like just anything. Make people feel needed, because then they're like, oh, okay, this person needs me. When somebody needs you, you stay around.
She appreciates me. She appreciates what I do. And for those of us that have dealt with men that are, on their second, little situation, they say second wife, better life. What do the men always say about their ex-wives? That he couldn't do nothing right. She was never happy. She didn't appreciate nothing he didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, because you hit that heart center by making that man feel needed. And I'll say it. Tell me how good it feels to be needed. Okay? I can be needy. I don't have a problem saying that. And it gets results. It gets results. Tell me. Okay, so that's really good. So I love that he said that. He talks about how he says, like, you are not your career. And then he goes in to say, sorry, I'm like going through my notes, but like we're like having a little girl chat. You are not what you can do for a man. We all know that. That man does not care that you helped him out of debt. That man does not care that you did so and so and so and so and so, because all he needed was for you to be his peace. So now you didn't work like a damn mule, and you don't have no more positive energy or any of that good vibes to pour into that man now. And now he needs somebody that will appreciate him and see him where he is and do all of those things. And that's why these men will allow you to do what you will for them, and then skip ship. And I feel like that alone should be a signal or something to let people know that, hey, men don't care what you can do for them, because they don't care. Well, a strong man, a real man, a superior man here, I'll say that. Because there are men that'll be like, if she ain't working, these women just trying to do da 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 da, but that's not our target. So we're not going to talk about those types of men.
with his uncle and Miss May had me stressed out because I knew that was real life. When he was saying like his this woman used to cook for his uncle and his friends all the time. His uncle would just roll by and pick up the plates, like, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a simple bitch right there." I was like, "Oh no!" Secondhand embarrassment. Like I was embarrassed.
And here this woman is thinking that she cooking for this man, and she, he appreciate these meals. He coming getting these meals, coming to see her. Oh, and you know what? And now she done met his family because he brought his little nephew over. So now she got a special little place in his heart because she done met the family, girl. Mental illness.
But that's, yeah. And even in that part when he was like, men who are impressed by, oh, you have your own place or you have the degrees, that's the red flag, and not to trust them because
don't trust
them. Just like you were saying. So, but I find it weird sometimes though, because I don't know, it's like a lot of guys do want to talk about that on dates. And I do get it because it's like an interesting or to see what you have in common.
Right.
But I guess just more specific ways of figuring out, like, is this just an interesting or like to see what we have in common? Or like, how deep are you trying to be in my business? Like, are you? But I don't know. I try not to be too paranoid because also bringing that energy.
Right. And sit in that energy, girl. I give the most vague answers to like everything.
Right.
Like literally everything. Like you got to answer without answering. Leave some mystery. I love that. I know this guy, family friend, and this family friend has a strong interest for me, right? And you know how men will gauge kind of like how the type of woman you are, or what you will or will not do based upon a little situation or a story that he'll tell you about another woman, because that's what they do.
Right.
So homeboy wanted to let us know that, he has a home girl, a home girl that has been making his meals during quarantine. And I said, oh, well, that is so nice that she's doing that. I'm like, well, are you paying her? Like, is this what she does for a living? Trolling.
Right.
Okay. And he's like, no, he was like, I just asked, I know she's a good cook. She always wants to talk about how she's a good cook. And I can't cook for myself. I got so much going on with the business. Okay. That I need for her to do for me. So we arranged she's going to be cooking for me. So homegirl didn't want no payment, no nothing. So he goes on talking about, her food and all this stuff. And of course
spaghetti.
Huh?
Oh. I thought something funny when you said that, and I said it and I forgot I wasn't muted.
No, say ready.
I was gonna say, is she making spaghetti? That's it. That's all I was gonna say.
We're about to crack up laughing. So my family, I'm not the only troll in my family. Okay. My mother is a Scorpio.
Praise God. Oh my word.
My mother is a Scorpio. She is a master troll. And my stepfather is a Taurus, and he is a troll. So while we were at dinner and we were having this conversation, my mother goes, well, don't eat her spaghetti. So the man didn't even know about the whole what women will do and so on, so on, so on, blah, 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 blah. So we had a whole talk about like, don't eat this, don't eat that, blah, 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 playing it cool, whatever. And so that was one conversation. The next time he comes over, we ended up having he brings up, he goes, he's like, she started cooking for me. And he goes, well, guess what the first thing was that she fed me? Spaghetti. He said he fed it to the dog. That woman slaved over that kitchen and put her essence in that spaghetti, and that man and get it.
Baby, sis was trying to secure her man, honey.
Period. And that man fed that spaghetti to his dog. And so when I asked him, I was like, well, is this like an interest or, whatever? Like, I don't mind doing all that, playing the long game. Right. So he's like, she's such a sweet girl. I've known her since college. This man been stringing this woman along since college. She thought this was her opportunity, her chance. Okay.
She definitely messed
But
with
she,
that.
but I mean, the man need food. She's supplying food. Why would he not accept the food? You know what I mean? And so he says, he's like, no, he's like, not really. He's like, I feel like, I kind of know she's interested or whatever, but she's overweight.
Oh.
She's a pretty girl. She know how to cook. She do what I ask.
But she overweight.
Simple. These men are simple. You slaving over a hot stove. Slaving to make some dog food.
Oh.
This man don't take you seriously because you overweight, sis.
The truth about men will set you free.
The truth about these men will set you free. Come on now. That's a word. So this is another thing. So we're gonna hop off that because we all know women that done bought houses and done bought cars and got humped and dumped and now they mad. So we already know about you. The man don't care about what you do for him. So let's talk about the fact that you are not your vagina. This was a shocker to me because I was one of those women. Oh, I got keep it right, keep it tight. I'm that girl. You know what I mean? And every woman should feel that way about her girl downstairs. I feel like that. You know what I mean? But the reality of the fact is, vagina is vagina.
Yo.
At the end of the session, he gonna come regardless of what her face look like, regardless of them 2 degrees, regardless of the attitude, regardless of the energy, regardless of whatever. Sex is sex to men. Okay? And when I read that, coming to terms with that, I was like, whoa, that's not true. It can't be true. It can't be true. And you know who confirmed this for me?
Who?
My daddy.
No.
My daddy told me it don't matter. They don't care. A man will literally stick his penis in anything that will make him come.
That's true though.
It's so true.
You're not locking him down by being a superhead in the bedroom. That ain't doing nothing for you. It ain't helping your case, sis.
You know how many times Superhead done got humped and dumped and
Humped and dumped in real life.
in real life.
Can we talk about it?
Isn't she married to a mailman now? Or was she?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know she got
A
somebody
mess.
Columbus short.
Mm-hmm. This whole good pussy versus bad pussy, grade A pussy. I got the legendary coochie. Keep it all coming back. Blah blah blah. This. Like you're a cum bucket, sis.
And she the breadwinner. She started her whole little movie.
Yikes.
Right. So the next woman gets just as wet as you get. The next woman doing tricks just like you, swinging from the chandelier butt naked. The next woman, you and the next woman right on par with one another. So having sex with these men is not helping your case. And I feel like a lot of women miss that. Like that being a part of the first chapter, I can understand why women stop reading this book at the first chapter. I get it. It's not for the weak. It's really not. So that's why it's easy for them to I'm not saying this is an excuse or whatever, but like, I mean, a man is going to be a man, right? So yeah, he's out there doing what he's doing. That's less work you got to do, right? It's helping to sustain your value on his roster by not giving it up or whatever the case may be. So yeah, so that whole he drove 2 hours to come see me in the rain. He flew me to so-and-so. We went on vacation. We did this, blah, 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 blah. Every woman has that same story. Every single one. Every woman has that story, that little quick something. Y'all just couldn't deny each other, blah, 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 blah. These are lies that men will tell women to make them open, to get them open, to be open, you know? So, good pussy is not a personality trait, sis. So this is another one too that I thought was like, well, damn, you are not your looks. So I will mention being a man's ideal type is always going to work in your favor. Like it is what it is. So he's a man too. And a lot of men don't recognize their weaknesses. So we're not going to go with everything that Gio Lambert says. Okay. You guys know if you're a man's ideal type, he'll see you and do what he needs to do, period. It don't matter. You can never say the wrong thing to that man. You can never do anything wrong. It's going to be what it's going to be because you're his ideal type and he going to do what he need to do, period. Can y'all agree?
Absolutely.
I'm over here like preach.
This is very true. Very, very, very true.
Right.
Okay. But when it comes to the fact of you aren't your looks, there are a lot of women that will put so much effort into the wig and the makeup and the dresses and her figure and the this and the that, and will not be able to secure a long-term, beneficial situation because of the fact of she hasn't fostered those feminine qualities and characteristics. She's not pleasant to be around. She don't have that good energy to be peace. You know what I mean? And who really comes to mind, and this is just because I've been watching these housewives, is Giselle Bryant.
Oh my God, yes.
She is
gorgeous,
but she is miserable and she is hell to be around. She is emotionless. She is cold.
Low-key cruel.
But she's strong pedigree. She's been around other prominent men, which makes her attractive to other prominent men. She's played the game right, but it hasn't worked in her favor because you can't win. When you ain't right with it. Can I get an amen?
I'm tired of you.
Amen.
She can get a man, but she can't get a man.
She could get a man. She could get a man easy. The men will cross the street. The men will buy the bags, buy this, pay for the rent, pay for the kids' tuition, pay for her, pay for the titties, pay for this, pay for that. The men will do it, but you know what won't happen?
They won't marry her.
Yeah, the long-term security, sis. You will not secure anything long-term. You are the type of woman to rinse men. Right. You can rinse men forever because you don't have the mentality.
That's
Who
exactly what I was gonna say.
I don't want to be rinsing men forever. Is that just me? I know I don't want to be rinsing men forever. No.
Trying to be like Karen Huger. Well, in a sense, nobody's perfect. But I think energy-wise.
It's a Monique girl, but
Yeah, Monique is my favorite.
But the long game, Karen did that 50-something years or 30-something years, I'm sorry.
The long game. Can we talk about the long game? And how you have to secure the foundation, the mental. You gotta hit that man in his heart chakra. Okay, you lure him in with the looks, and then you hook him with the mentality, with your game, your mental game, and your emotional game, and how you play on his emotions, and all of those other things. We'll get into that later, but y'all know, I could tell you how to get a ring now. But yeah, so yeah, there's people that say she's so pretty, she's never gonna get married, and like, let's talk about the women that are, the little ugly ducklings that have been married 3 and 4 times.
Ugly ducklings.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was so mean.
The plain Janes.
The plain Janes, and then what's so sad is that, sorry guys. What's so sad is that these women are unattractive and then have the nerve to have bad attitudes. So when you look a certain way, you kind of have to bring a little something extra to the table. I'm gonna be real. most women that look, they aren't really they ain't really got it. A lot of times them 2 degrees were of benefit to the package deal, right? Were of benefit to the package deal. Needed them 2 degrees to help out. Had to have the extra other 50%. We know a lot of women who we're surprised they even married, but it's because of the other things that they bring to the table. And what's really sad is when women get married and they're not at the top of their game, and then the man will leave them because your extra 50%, that extra money that you had, your family pedigree wasn't enough to sustain him. And I think that is kind of the situation with Giselle. The connections that you brought wasn't even worth him dealing with your personality type. It's sad.
Right. And that's why he tried to go elsewhere to get that energy he was looking for, that ego stroke he was looking for.
It wasn't at home. Mm-hmm. I mean, a man is going to do what a man wants to do anyway, but we're breaking it down. This is the science of it all. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and a man with money, he could take an ugly duckling and go get her some titties and some ass cheeks and make that woman his ideal woman. Like, let's be real.
Absolutely.
Let's be very real. Okay, so this was Killing Basica, and I liked the Basica. I thought that was cute. He talks like a homegirl, but we're gonna talk about that later.
Girl. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Resetting your mind. So I love that he talks about like stripping yourself from this thought process of, connection to who you think you are based upon your education, your background, your family, your resources, all of those things, and really focusing on who you are as an individual and what you bring to the table energetically, right? I think that that's important. So that's the reset. That's basically chapter 1. I'm glad we got that out of the way, y'all. You'll have to let me know your thoughts and feelings and opinions on the entirety of the thing now, because now we're on chapter 2. And chapter 2, you guys have to let me know if you want to get through this book fast. We can do instead of doing the Wednesday regular girl chats, we can just do like a chapter on Sunday, a chapter on Wednesday, and then do like a room in the VIP group on Wednesdays as that girl chat, and then we'll get through the book much faster. Or you'll have to let me know if you just want to do every Sunday for a chapter, if you want to do 2 chapters every week, let me know.
I think a few chapters per week is on Sundays is good.
Okay. Because this book is long, y'all.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 chapters. I think each session is good.
Okay, good. Everybody, you guys can unmute yourself. The live is done. I'll turn off the recording. Hold on.
I definitely agree with 2 to 3 chapters every Sunday.